All right. Thank you, friends. Welcome to our commemoration of the martyrdom of the Bab. The Bab, of course, is the prophet herald of the Baha'i faith. And in his brief 6-year ministry, of course, was very eventful and very much lit the country of Persia ablaze. And that blaze ended in the Bab's martyrdom, of course, in 1850, an event that was witnessed by many people, many people from Iran, but also outside of Iran, diplomats and others. And there was this very mysterious and miraculous episode that was recorded in lots of history books by lots of these diplomats, because the original person who was to carry out these orders, Sam Khan, went to the Bab and said, I am a Christian. I hold no ill will against you, and I really don't want to do this. He had a firing squad of 750 soldiers. And the Bab, of course, said that if your heart is true, then God will relieve you of this burden. And when his regiment went to shoot the Bab and his companion, who were hung on the barracks, when the smoke cleared from all of the 750 rifles, the Bab was gone. And he had said before the guards had taken him that he hadn't finished his conversation, and that nothing on earth could stop him from carrying out these orders in this conversation. And so afterwards, he was found in the cell, finishing that conversation. Then he was brought out. Another Sam Khan and his regiment left, and another regiment had to be brought in. And then, of course, the martyrdom of the Bab was completed, and he left this world, but he left a great legacy for all of us, many prayers and writings, and of course, all of the work that he did to prepare the way as the herald for the coming of Bahá'u'lláh. And so that's what we will celebrate today. And we will begin, as always, with some writings that we have selected from the writings of the Bab himself, as well as from Bahá'u'lláh and Abdul Baha, the son of Bahá'u'lláh and the center of the covenant in the Baha'i faith. So with that, we will go ahead and begin. All of our readers, thank you in advance, and we will start with the first reading.
Glorified be thy name, O Lord. In whom shall I take refuge, while thou art in truth my God and my beloved? Unto whom shall I turn for shelter, while thou art my Lord and my possessor? And towards whom shall I flee, while thou art in truth my master and my sanctuary? And whom shall I implore, while thou art in truth my treasure and the goal of my desire? And through whom shall I plead before thee, while thou art in truth my highest aspiration and supreme desire? Glorified art thou, O Lord, O my Lord. Every hope hath been frustrated, save the yearning for thy heavenly grace, and every door is barred except the portal leading to the wellspring of thy blessings. I beseech thee, O my Lord, by thy most effulgent splendor, before whose brightness every soul humbly boweth down and prostrateth itself in adoration for thy sake. A splendor before whose radiance fire is turned into radiance, fire is turned into light. The dead are brought to life, and every difficulty is changed into ease. I entreat thee by this wondrous splendor, and by the glory of thine exalted sovereignty, O thou who art the Lord of indomitable power, to transform us through thy bounty into that which thou thyself doth possess, and enable us to become fountains of thy light, and graciously vouchsafe unto us that which beseemeth the majesty of thy transcendent dominion. For unto thee have I raised my hands, O Lord, and in thee have I found sheltering support, O Lord. And unto thee have I resigned myself, O Lord, and upon thee have I placed my whole reliance, O Lord. And by thee am I strengthened, O Lord. Verily there is no power nor strength except in thee. The Bahá'í.
Glory be unto thee, O God. How can I make mention of thee, while thou art sanctified from all praise of all mankind? Magnified be thy name, O God. Thou art the King, the eternal truth. Thou knowest what is in the heavens and on the earth, and unto thee must all return. Thou hast sent down thy divinely ordained revelation according to a clear measure. Praised art thou, O Lord. At the bias thou dost render victorious whomsoever thou willest, through the hosts of heaven and earth, and whatsoever existeth between them. Thou art the sovereign, eternal truth, the Lord of invincible might. Glorified art thou, O Lord. Thou forgivest at all times the sins and such among thy servants as implore thy pardon. Wash away my sin and the sins of those who seek thy forgiveness at dawn, who pray to thee in the daytime and the night season, who yearn after naught save God, who offer up whatsoever God hath graciously bestowed upon them, who celebrate thy praise and mourn at eventide, and who are not remiss in their duties. Bob.
Jason, do you have the sound on?
I am the Mystic Fane. I am the Mystic Fane, which the hand of omnipotence hath reared. I am the lamp which the finger of God hath lit within its niche, and caused to shine with deathless splendor. that supernal light that glowed upon Sinai in the gladsome spot and lay concealed in the midst of the burning bush. Promised one. I am the 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 one whose name you have for 1,000 years invoked, at whose mention you have risen, whose advent you have longed to witness, in the hour of whose revelation you have prayed God to hasten.
Oh, Ivy, sorry, I'm gonna unmute you.
Emerge from behind the veil. By the leave of thy Lord, the all-glorious, the most powerful, and seize before the eyes of those who are in the heavens and those who are on the earth, the chalice of immortality. In the name of thy Lord, the inaccessible, the most high, and quaff thy field, and be not of them that tarry. I swear by God, the moment thou touchest the cup of with thy lips, the concourse on high will acclaim thee, saying, drink with healthy relish, O man that hath truly believed in God. And the inhabitants of the city of immortality will cry out, joy be to thee, O thou who hast drain the cup of his love. And the tongue of grandeur will hail thee. Great is the blessedness that awaiteth thee, O my servant, for thou hast attained unto that which is none, unto that which none hath attained, except such as have detached themselves from all that is in the heavens and all that is on the earth, and who are the emblems of true detachment. Bahá'u'lláh.
Give ear, O my servant, unto that which is being sent down unto thee, the throne of thy Lord, the inaccessible, the most great. There is none other God but him. He hath called into being his creatures, that they may know him, who is the compassionate, the all-merciful. Unto the cities of all nations he has sent his messengers, whom he hath commissioned to announce unto men tidings of the paradise of his good pleasure, and to draw them nigh unto the haven of abiding security, the seat of eternal holiness and transcendent glory. Some were guided by the light of God, gained admittance into the court of his presence, and quaffed from the hand of resignation the waters of everlasting life, and were accounted of them that have truly recognized and believed in him. Others rebelled against him and rejected the signs of God, the most powerful, the almighty, the all-wise. Baha'u'lláh.
The more he extolled the remembrance of God, the greater they waxed in their oppression, until all the divines pronounced sentence against him, save those that were acquainted with the precepts of God, the all-glorious, the best beloved. Matters came to such a pass that they united to put him to death. They suspended him in the air, and the hosts of misbelief flung at him the bullets of malice and hatred, piercing the body of the one unto whom the Holy Spirit is a humble servant, the dust of whose feet is the object of adoration of the concourse on high, and from whose very sandals the inmates of paradise seek a blessing. Whereupon the inhabitants of the unseen realm wept sore beneath the pavilion of eternity. The pillars of the throne trembled. The inmost realities of all things were stirred into commotion, and the divine tree received its full measure of his gleaming blood, which was shed upon the earth. Ere long will God reveal the mystery of this tree, make it to flourish through the power of truth, and cause it to intone, "Verily, I am God. There is none other God but thee, but him. All are my servants, whom we have created to carry out my bidding, and by my bidding they all verily abide." Baha'u'lláh.
Announce unto my servants the advent of the one who came unto them with the power of truth, bearing the name of Ali, who dawned above the horizon of holiness with the splendors of a cherished glory, and from whose right hand flowed the crystal streams of the Spirit, laying bare the wonders of a hidden knowledge. O people, he declared, the clouds of wisdom have been lifted, and God hath revealed his cause. This is that which ye were promised in all the scriptures. Fear ye God, and hasten unto me. I am, O people, a scion of your prophet. I have brought unto you verses that bewilder the minds of them that perceive, and this is but a token of God's proof and testimony. Deny them not at the prompting of your idle fancies, and be fair in your judgment. They verily proceed from the religion of God that hath been sent down unto you through the power of truth. Would that ye might believe.
Dost thou imagine, O minister of the Shah in the city, that I hold within my grasp the ultimate destiny of the cause of God? Thinkest thou that my imprisonment, or the shame I have been made to suffer, or even my death and utter annihilation can deflect its course? Wretched is what thou hast imagined in thy heart. Thou art indeed of them that walk after the vain imaginings which their hearts devise. No God is there but him. Powerful is he to manifest his cause and to exalt his testimony, and to establish whatsoever is his will, and to elevate it to so eminent a position that neither thine own hands nor the hands of them that have turned away from him can ever touch or harm it. Bahá'u'lláh.
This is a missive from the primal point unto them that have believed in God, the One, the Peerless, the Almighty, the All-Knowing, wherein he addresseth those among the people of the Bahá'í who have vacillated in this cause, that haply they may apprehend the wondrous words of God and forsake the couch of heedlessness in this shining and resplendent morn. Say, we verily bid you in our book not to advance yourselves before those from whose rank would appear he who is the beloved of every understanding heart and the object of the adoration of the denizens of the earth and heaven. Moreover, we command you, should ye attain the presence of God, to stand before him and to utter on my behalf these mighty and exalted words. Upon thee, O glory of God, and upon thy kinfolk, be the remembrance of God and the praise of all things at every moment before him, before and after him. We honor the people of the Bahá'í with these words, that they might ascend thereby unto the heights of holiness and be numbered with the blessed. Yet they have so utterly forsaken our injunction that not a single one among them hath appeared in his presence as we had commanded in our tablets. Nay, rather from every side they have hurled at him the darts of malice. And at this, I and the denizens of the kingdom of grandeur and beyond them, the faithful spirit, have wept sore. Syria Dakar, the Syria of Remembrance, Bahá'u'lláh.
Say, his beauty is in truth my beauty, and his self is mine own self. And all that we revealed in the Bahá'í is for the sake of his wondrous and resistless cause. Fear ye God, and dispute not with the one whose advent we heralded and whose revelation we announced unto you. I established a covenant with you concerning his mission. Here I covenant with you regarding mine own. And unto this all things bear witness, even if ye were to deny it. By the righteousness of God, through but a single one of his melodies, the realities of all things were reborn. And through another, the hearts of his favored ones were filled with rapture. Take heed, lest anything debar you from him whose presence is the same as mine own. He sacrificed himself in my path, even as I sacrificed myself in his path, for the love of his glorious and incomparable beauty. Surah of Remembrance, Bahá'u'lláh.
O thou remnant of God, I have sacrificed myself wholly for thee. I have accepted curses for thy sake, and have yearned for naught but martyrdom in the path of thy love. Sufficient witness unto me is God, the exalted, the protector, the ancient of days. O Kura Talain, the words thou hast uttered in this momentous call have grieved me bitterly. However, the irrevocable decision resteth with none but God, and the decree proceedeth from none save him alone. By my life, thou art the well-beloved in the sight of God and his creation. Verily there is no power except in God, and sufficient witness unto me is your Lord, who is in very truth the omnipotent avenger.
The praise which hath dawned from thy most august self, and the glory which hath shone forth from thy most effulgent beauty, rest upon thee, O thou who art the manifestation of grandeur, and the King of eternity, and the Lord of all who are in heaven and on earth. I testify that through thee the sovereignty of God and his dominion, and the majesty of God and his grandeur were revealed. And the day stars of ancient splendor have shed their radiance in the heaven of thine irrevocable decree. And the beauty of the unseen hath shone forth above the horizon of creation. I testify, moreover, that with but a movement of thy pen, thine injunction, be thou, hath been enforced, and God's hidden secret hath been divulged, and all created things have been called into being, and all the revelations have been sent down. I bear witness, moreover, that through thy beauty, the beauty of the adored one hath been unveiled, and through thy face, the face of the desired one hath shone forth, and that through a word from thee thou hast decided between all created things, causing them who are devoted to thee to ascend unto the summit of glory, and the infidels to fall into the lowest abyss. I bear witness that he who hath known thee hath known God, and he who hath attained unto thy presence hath attained unto the presence of God. Great, therefore, is the blessedness of him who hath believed in thee and in thy signs, and hath humbled himself before thy sovereignty, and hath been honored with meeting thee, and hath attained the good pleasure of thy will, and circled around thee, and stood before thy throne. Woe betide him that hath transgressed against thee, and hath denied thee, and repudiated thy signs, and gainsayed thy sovereignty, and risen up against thee, and waxed proud before thy face, and hath disputed thy testimonies, and fled from thy rule and thy dominion, and been numbered with the infidels, whose names have been inscribed by the fingers of thy behest upon thy holy tablets. Waft then unto me, O my God and my beloved, from the right hand of thy mercy and thy loving kindness, the holy breaths of thy favors, that they may draw me away from myself and from the world unto the courts of thy nearness and thy presence. Potent art thou to do what pleaseth thee. Thou truly hast been supreme over all things. The remembrance of God and his praise, and the glory of God and his splendor rest upon thee, O thou who art his beauty. I bear witness that the eye of creation hath never gazed upon one wronged like thee, Thou wast immersed all the days of thy life beneath an ocean of tribulations. At one time thou wast in chains and fetters. At another thou wast threatened by the sword of thine enemies. Yet despite all this, thou didst enjoin upon all men to observe what had been prescribed unto thee by him who is the all-knowing, the all-wise. May my spirit be a sacrifice to the wrongs thou didst suffer, and my soul be a ransom for the adversities thou didst sustain. I beseech God, by thee and by them whose faces have been illumined with the splendors of the light of thy countenance, and who for love of thee have observed all whereunto they were bidden, to remove the veils that have come in between thee and thy creatures, and to supply me with the good of this world and the world to come. Thou art in truth the Almighty, the most exalted, the all-glorious, the ever-forgiving, the most compassionate. Bless thou, O Lord my God, the divine lote tree and its leaves and its boughs and its branches and its stems and its offshoots, as long as thy most excellent titles will endure and thy most august attributes will last. Protect it then from the mischief of the aggressor and the hosts of tyranny. Thou art in truth the Almighty, the most powerful. Bless thou also, O Lord my God, thy servants and thy handmaidens who have attained unto thee. Thou truly art the all-bountiful, whose grace is infinite. No God is there save thee, the ever-forgiving, the most generous.